Let's talk about stress. So, stress is a huge contributing factor to our physical health. It goes hand in hand, mental and emotional well being and physical well being. Obviously, we can't make the neurotransmitters, and if we don't have the vitamin B and all the different complexes that we need nutritionally and a healthy gut, we're going to really struggle mentally with making decisions, with how we feel in our body, our anxiety levels. All of those are contributors to mental wellness. Also, our mental well-being is contributing to our physical well-being. Go figure. So let's map this out a little bit. If you're someone who's feeling overwhelmed, or you're with someone who's feeling overwhelmed or depressed or anxious or struggling with some behavioral issues and maybe feeling stuck and having a hard time making decisions, whatever it is, let's map out a method to start working on these issues. So I forgot my little dry erase marker. Stay tuned. We're gonna get a piece of paper and fold it in 3 sections. So 3 sections would be, let's see how well I can do. 1 column, not too bad. 2 column, and then the 3rd column. So you're gonna date. Let me look at my notes here. What would be the best thing to do? So I have a stress inventory. Didn't print color for whatever reason. My printer has a mind of its own. Those of you who see me in office lately, you know this. So let's see. Event, the date, and the score. So date, you're going to score it on how much it impacts you. And then the event, you're going to just label, like, what the heck happened? Factually, not the way you feel. That's for journaling, okay? Why am I having to lean? I don't know why that is. I can stand. Okay, self-awareness, right? Okay, so we're gonna go back in the last, say, 2 years. Anything prior to that, that's a separate issue. Big T trauma or little t trauma, that's something to consider when we're thinking about now. But the only thing that we can do is be in the present moment now. Be here now. Who says that? That's a quote. Let me know. Put it in the chat. You get brownie points or something if you can tell me who says that. So if I had colored paper, I would have terminal illness being at a 10 if you experienced someone that died that was close to you. That would also be pretty high up there, maybe a 9. Serious illness or hospitalization, any kind of like physical trauma, you're gonna rate maybe 7 to 9. These are all highly stressful things. Natural disaster, earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, war, etc. That's 6 to 9, depending on how it impacts you. Moving countries to a different country, you're going to experience what? A lot of transitions, cultural differences. So that's pretty stressful. That's about a 6 if you were... Now, when you're rating this, rate it the way that it is to you, but then use this sheet as, is this normal? Because we have a window of tolerance. Some people's window of tolerance, if they're managing themselves well, it's quite large. We can handle quite a bit. We know we're resilient, and we can bounce back from these stressful things. That would be healthy. Some people's window of tolerance is much smaller, and then there's, of course, in between. So you're going to rate it the way that it feels to you. And then you're going to use the sheet to gauge, how am I doing comparatively to a normal, like job, job loss is different than not enjoying your job. So these are all things to communicate with a professional who can help you in this area. Someone that specializes in stress reduction, stress management, perhaps a counselor. Okay, so if you date it, this is a really great thing to track your events over time. Say you're in a relationship, and new relationships are always stressful. Sometimes it's good stress. There is a term for good stress. I can't recall what that is at the moment, but there is good stress and there is bad stress. Sometimes relationships have a little bit of bad stress, where depending on how that relationship is going and the life of that person and what they have going on in their life, how it impacts you. And if it's impacting you to a certain degree, that's affecting your quality of life, then maybe we need to look at the health of that person or your boundaries. If you don't have healthy boundaries and you're playing a role of rescuer or any kind of other archetype, that's a great thing to look into. Archetypes, we all have them within us. We have the child, we have the parent, we have the victim, we have the villain. There's like 7 main archetypes that are in all of us. And if we are not aware of this, we can fall into those, and we can have this, we can triangulate. So we're falling victim to something, we're looking for a rescuer, or we're playing rescuer of someone that's being victimized. And then there's always the other V, somebody who's causing the, it's not the villain, what's the word for that? Anyway, you know what I mean, the perpetrator. It's a P, not a V. P. Okay? So, date this. You might even want to journal these things to purge it, to get it out of your system. That's healthy. S. What was that for? Oh, you're going to score it on how impactful it is, how stressful it is for you. Because this is about stress management, and we have to identify our level of stress to be able to process it, to get it out of our system so it doesn't stick around in our head and affect our physical health. Because it will. Emotions that are stuffed will start affecting our physical health. Not good. Okay, then you're going to write down the event. And just so you know, I will post this, I think it's 2 pages, in the notes here below. If I can figure out how to do that. Wish me luck. I'm so techie. And then there's a key, so you know what level of stress you're experiencing based on your score, and then run it by someone like myself that can help determine, is this a normal response to a high amount of stress, or is this an abnormal stress response to a normal level of stress? Because then we have some work to do. All right, take care. See you next time.